skies are about to open up and I did not bring an umbrella.
The Simpsons coming to HHN for this year.
You're gonna have the Oddfellow purple and the Jack oranges. You have the giant cleaver. Meets. Okay guys, we're back at Universal Studios Florida. It's time for another Halloween Horror Nights update. There's been leaks and now kind of confirmation that The Simpsons is coming to Halloween Horror Nights. We got light updates, court updates, prop updates inside the scare zones. We're also gonna be talking about what's gonna be inside the Ozzy Osbourne house in HHN Hollywood and then also in HHN Orlando. They're kind of different, so we're gonna talk about the differences between the two houses. But on that note, it's time to talk about the Halloween Horror Nights shirt of the day. We're gonna go back to HHN 1997. This is one of the best designed shirts ever. This imagery is kind of burned into your retina if you're an HHN fan. This is probably one of the most counterfeited shirts around, so watch out. Then the hat, you had that same eyeball imagery, and then Halloween Horror Nights Frightmare. So on that note, let's roll the commercial.
Never sleep again. At Universal Studios, the Frightmare continues with Halloween Horror Night 7. New terrors to haunt your memory. Starting October 3rd, Halloween Horror Night 7. Only at Universal Studios. You'll never sleep again.
Okay, welcome back. Let's head in. Let's see what's going on. Still no movement with the entrance. All the managers are waving everybody, welcoming them into the park. Let's see if anything has changed. The only bit of change is these have been installed, so something's gonna be mounted to that. That has appeared, and the same thing on the other side. Those two have appeared right there. All the lights are still on from last night. Remember we were talking about the lights over by the Nightmare Fuel, how they changed it to the purple and then the orangey red for Jack and Oddfellow. But they have all the lighting right here, and then in all the lights right above the bathroom. So throughout the entire park, we're gonna see this color scheme. This is gonna help with the overarching aesthetic of the event. They've made a new sticker, they've glued it down, so I wonder what's going on in New York. Have they fixed that sticker that was on the Oddfellow cart? We got some more details. So, they've added some more foliage, right? This was just here yesterday, but now they've added more. And we got some more little bugs. We got a whole baby bottle that's been unscrewed. Ew. And there's all these different spiders that were living in it, coming out of the baby bottle. We have another little bug right there. They've added a jar of something next to a giant roach. So we're gonna see bugs a lot in this scare zone based on what's appearing. They've also added a bunch of foliage on the fence, right? They're adding more of these details to make you feel immersed. We got the vines growing out of the ground, it looks like. Now this is a great little touch. So they're adding like dirt, as if all these vines are growing out of the ground and they're bringing dirt with it. So it's dirty and grimy, but there's more vines going over the amusement park ride here, but they've even added dirt up here. We're gonna come over here. More of the vine work and the roots are growing up over everything on the stage. Little bits of dirt right there. So this makes me feel like there is gonna be some sort of plant creature. And then we got more mud and dirt all over the fences. The roots growing up. Again, they're just chucking dirt everywhere. Even like over here, every nook and cranny, they're shoving dirt. So yeah, this makes me think there's definitely gonna be some sort of plant creature on the stage, or else they would not be doing this. There's dirt going all the way up there with the roots, even along the fence, dirtying everything up. We got so many more little bugs, little spiders, little crickets, little centipedes, little beetles. This little guy's looking a little flat though. More beetles over there. Ugh. I am worried for what's going to be roaming in the scare zone with all these bugs. And then over there, look at the giant spiders on the side of that box. They're just fleshing out more and more of the details. Still no scare actor trigger on the stage for them to set off an effect. But yeah, just more dirt and mud everywhere. Now let's come over here and see what details got added over here. So this is where the cannonball got shot through, but they've added some like ravens or crows in the center of it. They've added a little hatchet next to a vulture. Then over here we have another little knockdown clown. But again, they're continuing with that portal spiral. So we saw that pop up on the clown sign, also the ghoulie sign, but it's that portal spiral bringing in stuff from the past. So I wonder if they're gonna bring in something from the Alice in Wonderland house from years ago. Some more ravens or crows. This one's trying to take a hold of the hatchet. And then this is the little bumper car. This has been around for a very long time. We've seen it pop up in so many different houses and scare zones. There's too many to go over. This is a prop that has been seen many times by HHN fans over the decades, but there's a hatchet going into it. We have a little chained up, a little clown guy, a little knock him down clown guy. Then a sign here says, a maze. Got a little hot dog guy there, another little cage, because Cindy is, I guess, caging up all these creatures she's bringing back. And then back here, it says amusement on the signage. But every day, more and more props are popping up. More stuff has popped up over here. So, looks like Jack has also appeared on another poster. We got Oddfellows Grand Circus Presents the Man-Eater. They've also added the bars. Last night was dirt night. Looks like they were adding dirt all over the stage. Grimy and gross, as if it's been raised out of the ground from the dead, from the past. But there's just grime everywhere. All right, we got another icon. We got the director over here. Look at him. Look at him in the box. He's been caged up, but there's the director. So we saw Lady Luck on that stage. Now we got the director right here. And then over here on the 35 sign next to the director, they've added some more dirt all over the number. We do have a name. We have a name for the seagull. Do not feed Philip. This is Philip the Seagull. So if that's Philip, what's the name of the rest of the seagulls? We have some more luggage. I have no idea what's coming out of here. On the handle, it looks like candy. It's almost kind of like a Major Sweets vibe a little bit. Some gnarly looking cotton candy. Up here, above the candy, we'll have some bugs. Some more bugs inside that candy. Now, it is rumored that we might see Major Sweets in some sort of thing this year. So again, they went a whole 360 scare zone. Back in the day, you would just walk straight through the scare zone, but now some people come off to the sidewalk. They don't want to be scared, so they want to make sure you're still feeling like you're immersed. So that's why we're seeing props pop up over here. We're seeing the posters pop up behind the stage because they want you to feel like you're a part of it. Fortnite stuff has been moved over here, and they got all the Ozzy stuff here. So they have the acrylic piece, but it is a very humid day. That's what's going on in there, Ozzy. Wait, what are you doing? Is Sharon in there with you? See if they've added anything over here. This looks like about the same. We had all the clowns pop up yesterday, and we got Freddy down there. We got Bruce, but nothing new that's appeared over here. I don't even think they've added any mud over here. Probably tonight they'll start chucking mud at it. Let's head over here and see what's going on. We did get some mud additions last night. So we got the mud above the ticket booth right there, and then going up the stairs, right? Because performers are going to be entering up the stairs. Creatures and ghoulies from the past on the swan. There's some dirt also over here by the barrel, and then all over the horse. They've kind of added dirt all over the horse, and then on the entire stage. Looks like this guy, they were also rubbing dirt on his face. They have added another one of the games, you know, where you climb up the ladder to try to win the prize. They had one there, but now they've added another one right over here. Do you see right there? And then also some umbrellas, some kind of spray painted umbrellas, one right there. And then when you come around the side, we're gonna have more umbrellas, one right there and one right there, and also the dirt on the barrels. And then the baby dolls, they have seen better days. They went to town making these things look so gross and grotesque. This one has lost an eye. There's so much dirt in his eye. It's all over right there. This one has it in its mouth. You got the dirt inside its mouth. A little dirt boogie. And then over here, they've shoved it in its ears. And then this one got off scotch-free. Got no dirt to it, but then this guy, so he was vomiting up some dirt. So they're trying to tell kind of jokes and story, even with like dirt and grossness, with these little baby doll heads. The mermaid has been missing, but it looks like they tried to bring dry land to her because there's dirt all over the signage. They were going to town, throwing it at the barrel right there, throwing it underneath the barrel, throwing it on the stage, throwing it in the little cracks, going up the stairs on the barrel. The little ghoulie guy, he's got it in his mouth now. Look at that. He's got a little dirt drool. And we got the seagull over here, but no name. I would like to know the name of the little seagull. And then around the signage, even dirt kind of stuck in the little area right there. And then also at the bottom of, what is it? And then no name of the seagull right there. So I guess right now, we'll call him Philip number 2. And I guess Philip number 3 over there. Now off to the side, they've added a horn right here. So I wonder if we're gonna be in some sort of Viking, because we saw the Viking shield, the hatchet, and then now the horn. Clown suspenders. We've got another sign here, but now it's got kind of the twig work going all over the arrow. So that has appeared right there. But I know the update. We're all waiting for what's going on with the pea pebbles. The pea pebbles, still there. They're safe and sound. They're still in their bags. Over here by the horse, they've added a little crate down here with a star, and then a little sign right behind the carousel horse. And then we got the clown costumes popping out of all the luggage in the scare zone. And every day we're gonna see more and more details pop up inside the scare zones. But I'm excited about these new fog machines that they bought. Let's see if it's the same one. Okay, this is a slightly different fog machine, but the one they bought in the front, it's almost like a $3,000 fog machine, and they're super quiet. I'm interested to see how the new fog machines operate in the scare zones, but there's different fog machines inside each of the boxes. What is your favorite Universal monster and why?
Oh, My favorite happens to be Frankenstein, not the doctor. Why?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that goes way back. It helps Universal Studios today, where we are, but back then it was wonderful. The monsters back then, Karloff was really, really nice to me. James Whale gave him some ideas. But I just love Frankenstein's monster, especially in The Bride.
Let's see what's going on in the Fortnite scare zone. No new set pieces. Since there's not much action happening, you know who does have some action happening?
It's John Murdy right there. John!
Okay, so John tweeted out this in regards to our upcoming HHN panel at Midsummer Scream on Sunday, August 9th at 5 p.m. We will be announcing, debuting, previewing 13 things during the presentation, maybe more, but I kind of like the number 13. These are things that haven't yet been announced, previewed, or debuted. Mic drop. One more Irish home-cooked meal before driving around LA trying to see what drive-thru is open at stupid o'clock in the morning in the run-up to HHN. So then John was answering questions about the Ozzy house and Midsummer Scream. So excited for this one. The front facade is getting so much love and detail already. Should we expect to see scare actors outside the front of the facade? John says, no live performers out front. The facade is an image that popped into my head that I thought might relate to Ozzy's childhood. I didn't know if it was true or not, just had a feeling, then found out later it was true. Weird synchronicity. Favorite song you transformed into a scene for this house? John says, Crazy Train, because it involves multiple elements. How far into HHN 2027 planning are you currently? John says, 4 treatments completed. Is this one of your favorite houses you've ever done? Top 5? John says, it's up there. What was the process of choosing the soundtrack of this maze? John says, what would go best with each scene? Some are literally inspired by a specific song. Others, it was more what vibe would work for this scene. What IP house had the hardest scenes to translate into a house? John says, Stranger Things, because of the sheer scale of it. What part of HHN takes the majority of your energy, and what part excited you the most? John says, writing treatments takes up like half the year. By chance, the house will have 3DS effects like the Black Sabbath one? And is there a possibility of getting an entirely 3D maze in the future? John says, no 3D in this house. I just find the color palette kind of limited visually in terms of how we did it in the past. Ever consider a Simpsons Treehouse of Horror house? Not a house, no, because if the characters were done like how they appear in a house, they'd never survive. Just not a practical costume for a haunt. Will Jack the Clown and Hollywood Harry be at HHN this year? John says, I haven't heard from Harry in a while, and Jack seems to be hanging in Vegas. Now, Jack is rumored to be at Midsummer Scream. We're not talking about the panel, but for one of the Horror Unleashed activations. With the Ozzy Osbourne house, is there anything special you're excited for everyone to see? John says, yes. One specific idea I had that I shared with his son Jack the first time we got together to talk about this. What songs can we be looking forward to from each announced album? John says, pay close attention and write them down after you go through it. Sounds like it's going to spell out a special saying, maybe. How many pages was the treatment for this house? John says, I forgot, well over 100. Will there be some cheeky Easter eggs or references from the MTV series of the Osbournes? Well, or no? John says, no, it's focused on the music. The gazebo is looking great for Evil Dead Burn in H Lot North. John says, and somewhere in our makeup vendor shop, Edgar's deadite doggy is getting his fur. Ozzy Osbourne, Prince of Darkness, is looking incredible. The details are amazing, and only a slight hint of pink now in the facade fence. John says, must ask about the pink. This is unannounced house is so awesome. I would actually want to live here. John says, nobody lives here, but they will die there. Dead, Deader, Deadest had added vines to the facade. Is this still the work of Barb? John says, yes, and her crew. The Hellraiser facade is so good. I can't wait to see it in action with lighting and audio. And John says, and video. So it sounds like there's going to be projections potentially on the facade. What can you tell us about treatment number 4? You'll like it. Been waiting a long time to do it. We just want to know if the Ozzy house will feature him working at the animal rendering plant before joining Sabbath. He said he would vomit for weeks before he got used to the smell of undigested food being cut out of sheep and slaughtered cattle. Accuracy is key, you know? John says, I know all about that. It was in my first draft, but I changed it. And then someone asked about the panel. Someone says, is it going to be live streamed anywhere? And John says, not by us, but fans always film and post it. I'll be there to film it all in 4K. It'll be posted on Monday morning. So it has happens on Sunday, and I will post it on Monday morning. John, before or after the HHN panel, will you be around the convention floor or at a booth to meet fans? I'd love the chance to say hello. Can't wait for all 13 reveals. John says, I'm going to be doing a signing at the Universal booth. Don't know if they've announced the time yet. It's on Sunday before the panel. I'll be checking things out before and after. This will be my 5th time going, and from all the houses you have announced, this might be the best haunt yet. And I'm so excited to see what you're cooking up for this event. John says, hard to top last year, but we're trying. One day, you should write a book, but it being only the not used drafts from houses HHN discarded. John says, could do a whole event on that. Is there any purchases for your signing at the Universal booth? John says, no, I believe it's all free.
And then nothing new with the set piece over here.
Okay, we're heading into Springfield. Let's see what facade updates we've had for today. Over here we got Philip's mother. So let's go see what's going on back there now. Has any work happened with the facades? Let's hope. HR Blood and Guts looks about the exact same. Facades right there. Lettering is up there. See if anything has changed with this facade. We saw the truss pop up the other day, but the wood is just still waiting there to be built, it looks like.
We got some food booths over here.
So we talked about yesterday the importance of the food booths and the theming. It kind of expands
The atmosphere of the houses and also the story. This is definitely Stranger Things. You can see Beckton's kind of vines growing over. See how it looks in the front. It looks like it's gonna be illuminated. 50,000 watts. We got Squawk. WSQK, that's gonna be the radio station from the final season, but it has now appeared. Menu boards will definitely illuminate. We got the vines growing up the side of the building. Again, all over the antenna. It's gonna look really cool during the nighttime. Then they have the Pardon Our Dust sign right there. We're getting more and more food booths this week. This is cool and everything, but what I'm excited for is this. Meats HHN Classic returning. They have the tile looking all grimy up there. I'm sure they're gonna distress it a little more. You have the giant cleaver. Meats. You got the mascot right there. You got bloody handprints on the side. Bloody handprints next to the menu. Also over here, it's dripping through the building, through the menu. What's hiding behind that menu board? And then in front of each food booth, they have the same sign. Pardon Our Dust. We are in the process of transforming our park for Halloween Horror Nights 35.
Before we go into the Wizarding World and try our new little tart, let's go over the first rundown about the Ozzy Osbourne house for Orlando. At Universal Orlando, Halloween Horror Nights guests will venture through a ancient ruin and foreboding dungeons before boarding the Crazy Train for a twisted ride into a realm inspired by the covers of his fan favorite albums, Diary of a Madman, Bark of the Moon, The Ultimate Sin, and Black Rain. Rules by the Prince of Darkness, this fantastical world draws from the heavier sound and sinister imagery that defined the later years of Ozzy's career, transforming that creative evolution into a horrific journey through his unmistakable, twisted imagination. We are honored to collaborate with the Osbourne family to create a unique haunted house that celebrates the legacy of Ozzy Osbourne, said Mike, Senior Director of Entertainment Creative Development at Universal Orlando Resort. It was important for us to create an authentic experience that brings Ozzy's creativity and personality to life in an eerie, immersive new way. Fans will discover so many meaningful details, including a few Easter eggs as they navigate memorable, dark, and twisted moments inspired by his iconic musical career.
Time to head back into Sugar Plums. Yesterday's tart was the Hippogriff, and it was like lavender. It was really good. Gave it an 8.5, but there's a new variety of the tarts, so we're gonna try the next one. So the next one we're gonna get is gonna be the Cornish Pixie Blueberry Bakewell Tart right there.
Okay, so let's see how the blueberry tart is. This is a better look at the inside. Blueberry tart was not as good as the lavender tart from yesterday. Tasted like the blueberry waffle Eggo, just kind of like mushed up and put into a tart. I'm gonna do a 7 out of 10 on it. Right now, the lavender one is in the lead.
The sun really isn't even out.
I'm like sweating so much. You know when it's like in your eyes and like your eyes just like burn? That's how I am right now. We are almost in August, and then it's pure hell on earth here in Orlando.
Okay, so let's talk about Hollywood's version of the Ozzy Osbourne house.
At Universal Studios Hollywood, the haunted house transforms fans to where it all began, in Birmingham, England, home of John Michael Ozzy Osbourne. Starting with Crazy Train, Ozzy Osbourne's most famous song, guests will travel through time from his early childhood to the Osbourne Asylum, inspired by his iconic album, Diary of a Madman. As they weave through the decades, the unique iterations of Ozzy's persona will come to life, from the Madman Ozzy and the Werewolf Ozzy to the Prince of Darkness, the moniker he earned in the 1970s. Ozzy Osbourne didn't just help define heavy metal, he He created a cultural phenomenon that has influenced generations of music, art, and horror, said John Murdy, executive producer of Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood. We previously had the privilege of collaborating with Ozzy and Black Sabbath, and this new haunted house is an opportunity to honor his extraordinary solo career inspired by all 13 of his albums. Guests will journey through the dark, surreal worlds that fueled his music and cemented his legacy as the one and only Prince of Darkness.
And in New York we go. What's going on with Stickergate? They add a little chimney to the cart. The sticker's back. They at least put kind of a dirty wash over the sticker so it kind of blends in, but you can just clearly tell they didn't like finish photoshopping out the sticker. Every single other aspect of all the streets is incredible, and this is probably the weakest part of all the streets and design. And over here they've reinstalled the sticker again, but it's still peeling. Can we just let these go, Universal? This is not gonna work. You installed these last night and they're peeling there, they're peeling up there. Let someone freehand something and just draw Dr. Oddfellow's Grand Carnival with paint on the side and stop using these stickers, because it's not working with this material. Look at it. Look, the wind is just slowly ripping it off. There's some changes in here. So we saw the lights installed yesterday. Oh, that's the bottom of the chimney. So that's the chimney that goes down to right there. That's coming from the top, right up there. And then nothing's been added on this side. If you look down here, it says bottom door yellow. So what if there's gonna be another kind of yellow circus tent curtain for the performer to enter in and enter out of right here? I'm confused on what this is. What is that? I'm very confused on like what that is between the lip and the eye. Oh, there's a storm incoming. We did get something new on the stage over here. They have something wrapped up upside down. So if you see it tarped up like that, this is definitely a body hanging upside down. We finally have something happening. You can see a rope kind of attached to there holding the body upside down. There's also something that's popped up back here, but this has appeared overnight. But if we zoom in, I'll zoom in on the cord real quick.
You see the rope? Oh, it's getting a little windy. The storm's coming. Do you see the rope's a little frayed? We can see a hydraulic line underneath the rope. So it's a prop to make it look like, you're, hanging up a dummy or something, but it's definitely gonna move. So we're gonna come over here and follow the rope to kind of where it ends. So this is where it ends, and then it kind of goes into a hydraulic line, it looks like. Or it could just be a cord, just a power motor inside of it. But this thing will definitely be moving, like the storm right now.
Skies are about to open up, and I did not bring an umbrella. Doesn't look like any details have been added to the food booths. We saw Jack's Circus Surplus pop up yesterday, and then Oddfellow's Menagerie pop up yesterday also. Looks like fog machines have also popped up outside Finnegan's, and then also another one right over here. So we got the classic fog box. The cord is going underneath the guard dog along the building here. It's kind of a short cord, not going anywhere too crazy. It's going past the Backlot Club, and it's being plugged in right here. Underneath where the mummy lockers are, they've changed the lights to the red and the orange for Jack the Clown. Another fog machine has popped up here over by the cart. It goes all the way up and then all the way over into the window up there. So this one's powered up. Got a change with the Tribute Store stage. A speaker has appeared. So they got the speaker right there. It's been powered up. I'm sure they'll cover this up to kind of blend it in with the theming, but it's here now. Let's see where the cord goes. All right, so back to the power pipe that's covered up. I'm guessing this is gonna connect directly to where the speakers are. So you see it looping down, going over there, and the speakers right there. More stuff's gonna be plugged in and powered up, but there's also more speakers as you're walking in right there, it looks like. So 2 speakers got installed. You can see the cord going up over there along the truss to that spot right there. So this whole sign will be illuminated. We got a speaker there and then a speaker there. Right above the ticket booth when you're walking into the Tribute Store, they'll have a speaker adding some tunes, or maybe the performer who's on the stage, you'll hear him, but that'll be there before you walk in to the Tribute Store. Then the food booths here, they've changed the lights to the red. So every single bulb has now been changed to the red or the orange. So this is all gonna be a different colorway. And then also over here, shining up, these lights have also been changed right there to that same kind of red accent, and it goes all the way around. The speaker that's been in this truss has finally been powered up. This thing has been here for a couple weeks. So you can see the cord going down, going along the curb, and it's looping around through there, which then will connect to the power box back there in the bushes. Now, slight changes to the bases here. Now they added a little bit of mesh over them. I guess they don't want it rusting when it starts raining and storming, but that has been added. And then also that has been added over here underneath the Universal Studio Store. The lights have been changed to that same colorway. You're gonna have the Oddfellow purple and the Jack oranges and reds. So those are now here when you're walking in to the gift shop. Even like right here, the lighting has been changed throughout the entire park. All right, let's try to get back to the car before it starts.
Okay guys, we're back in the office. So now let's talk about the confirmation about the Simpsons coming to HHN for this year. So yesterday on TikTok, the post has kind of gone viral. Someone was taking images of the IPs and kind of where they're gonna be placed at Universal Studios Hollywood for the food booths. Let's go over what was posted on TikTok. Looks like the Fortnite Mayor's food stand is gonna be at Tower Snacks. The Evil Dead Burn food is gonna be at Mummy Eats. The Hellraiser food is going to be at Killer Eats Cart and the H Lot. And then Terrifier is going to be on the Panda Patio Tent and the Courtyard Bar. And then the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror is going to be at pretty much all the restaurants, it looks like, in Springfield. So it does look like the Simpsons in some capacity is coming, at least as a food option, for this year's HHN out in Hollywood. We don't know what's going on with Orlando, but out in Hollywood, it looks like something is happening, which is exciting if you're a Simpsons fan. Tomorrow, we will have another Halloween Horror Nights update. So on that note, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and join the family.
I love the family.
Because I'm going to keep you up to date on all things Halloween Horror Nights and Universal Studios around the country. Love y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Here we go.
Kind of looks like